Yeah, so I'm actually going to take your question in a little different direction.
Sure.
And I think it's really important.
Expect no less of that.
I figured you'd say that. I want to focus on our mission space and the people that we're impacting, because I think that's extremely important, and you've heard that with everybody. I want you to imagine for a second that you're a single mom in a rural part of the United States, recently divorced. Both your kids went to college, and they didn't come back. They went to a city for a job. And you drive 40 minutes to work every day, right? I'm talking about social determinants of health, specific data things that are important to health. You drive 40 minutes to be an RN every single day for work, and you hurt your back at work, and you're prescribed opioids. And you start to take them for the pain, but you're lonely. There's no sense of community. You live in a really rural part of the United States, and you become addicted. And your neighbor comes by to visit one day, and you say you're not feeling well, so you're going to sit on the couch for a few days. Neighbor comes by to check on you 2 days later, and you haven't moved. You're abusing your opioids. You're taking 20 to 25 Vicodin a day. Now, your neighbor scoops you up and takes you to the hospital in the rural part of the United States where they don't have access to data. And when they take you to the hospital, the doctor there says, "We think you have pneumonia. We're going to put you on an IV drip, and in 12 hours, we think you'll be better." But in 12 hours, guess what? 90% of your major organs are starting to fail, your lungs collapsed, you're fully intubated, and you're life flighted to New York City. And the second you get to New York City, the doctor realizes you have something called sepsis. Now, there's only 7 or 8 strands of sepsis, okay? And they're all treatable. You could treat it at the moment of cough if you have data and you have insight to that. So the doctor puts you on an IV intravenous drug, 7 or 8 of them, which treats every form of sepsis. Now, 7 of those drugs are killing you. One's killing the sepsis that you have, and you have 2 days for a data exchange of a blood specimen to determine what type of sepsis you have. Now, I've actually personally experienced this, and the person survived, but after finding out what type of sepsis she had, she was given a drug and then given 4 other drugs to recover from the 7 drugs that were killing her.
Right, we've all
Now,
heard that story. Yeah.
Now, imagine if you had insights into de-identified claims data related to prescription drug use. Imagine if you had the ability to tap into a social determinants of health data platform, which is the basic data any marketer uses to actually sell you a cup of coffee or tell you where you can get cheap gas. Imagine how that could impact that individual's life. And Maria talked a ton about a foundation. The foundation that we've built in the back office so that we can peer into cloud tenants across the department, the multiple recurrent neural networks that we've built, so we can actually use a long short-term memory recurrent neural network to analyze different data sets will actually give us the ability not only to drive policy to help that individual, but to drive a return on investment as it relates to de-identified prescription drugs and the way they're being prescribed to individual users. And I think it's extremely important that we never lose sight of the person and the individual that we're trying to serve. So at HHS, we're piloting behavioral-based identity at the edge of the network. We've done 3 recurrent neural networks right now, one of which you haven't heard about, but it's in the cyberspace. And we've built the ability to peer into multiple cloud tenants and actually start to share data across multiple cloud tenants, all in the back office, but we're doing them to serve that woman that is in rural upstate New York and has that addiction.
What a powerful story.